My name is Leonardo, and in this video, I'm going to work on the Heatbed and Psu assembly for the Prusa i3 MK3S printer. In the last video, I worked on the LCD assembly, and in this video, I'm going to do the next step. Let's get started. So the first step is to prepare the Heatbed cable assembly. So we're going to take the Heatbed itself, just in here, and this Heatbed is very delicate, and the heating sensor is on the bottom here, the one that has a yellow foil on it, and it literally says hot zone, do not touch. So be careful, do not touch it when the thing is operated, the printer is operating. So I'm going to set this aside here, and we also need one power cable, which is in the what's it called? The PSU and hub box for number 7. Label number 7 because this is step number 7 too. And remember that the cable that you want to take out should have red on both sides. Like this. This is the power cable that has red on both sides, as opposed to the other two cables which have the red, one side's red and one side's blue, like this one. So you don't want that. You want the power cable, which has the red in both sides. So you need the power cable. You also need 2 screws, 2 washers, and 2 nuts, nylock nuts. So we also need to take the board, and then we're going to, the next step, we're going to attach the power cable to these 2 places here. But before we do that, it also mentions to be cautious that this needs to be the right power hole. So it's very important if this is the right connection. So we're going to check if the left hole here, the left connection port here, is labeled ground and GND or ground, DND. So if it's there, then everything should be good. So we're going to take the black side of this. We're going to take the black side of this power cable and the metal part that has a hole in it, not the metal part that has this gap up here, and we're going to put it here. So we're going to put it with the. Do you see how there's like a little, when you have the power cable, you could see there's a little power in here connected to the metal thing. You want that to be on the bottom of it when you attach it. And you're supposed to place the washer above it and a screw on the top, and then slide them all through here. So I'm going to take the parts, the screws are in here. So I'm going to take a washer and then put the screw through the washer and then push it through the red side of the power cable and push it through this hole here. Now that the power cable is fully attached to the Heatbed, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to attach the Heatbed cable cover, but there are 2. There is the Heatbed cable cover with round holes, which is the newer version, and I have that. And there's the older version, which has the hexagonal holes. So there, on step 6 is the new design, and step 14 is the old design, so I'll keep that in mind. So I'm going to talk about the new design and the old design, so you can both know. So I'm going to take the Heatbed, and I also need the textile sleeve, which is in this tube. One textile sleeve, the Heatbed. We need we need the heatbed cable covers, both of the heatbed cable covers. We also need two nuts, one nylock nut, 3 screws, and 3 screws. So first we're going to attach the bigger heatbed cable cover, the one with 3 holes, not 2 holes, and then we're going to place it on top of on top of the cable connection, the power cable connection here. We have the flatter side here facing the board. So we're going to put it like this. The next step is to check the heatbed heating sensor cable. So we're going to flip it over, and this cable here, which is a heatbed, the heating device here, we're going to check it. We're not going to put it through this hole right here. We're supposed to put it through the hole on the right side of the nut that we just screwed in. So put it on the right side here, and leave a little slack so it doesn't. So leave a little slap so it doesn't leave a little slack so it doesn't like stretch it out too much, but don't leave it too big of a slack, otherwise it'll get caught on one of the things and then possibly break it. So leave a little bit of slack there, and then just channel it down along with the rest of the power cable here. So you're going to wrap it a few times around the power cable. So next we're going to take the textile sleeve, and then we're going to start by this little groove here. We're going to put the wires of here, a few centimeters of the wire inside that groove. The next step is to attach the smaller cable cover onto the other side. So we're going to take the heatbed and we're going to put it on here, mounting it. We're going to mount it to here. And then there's a little hole in the bottom and the top. So we're going to make sure that those cables are so that all the cables are inside that hole. The next step is to finish wrapping the textile sleeve around the cables. So I'm going to finish doing that. So now we're going to mount the heatbed to the y-axis assembly. So we're going to so we need 9 spacers and 9 screws. So spacers and screws are all here. So we're going to take a spacer and put it in the center hole here of the y-axis carriage. So just put it right here. And don't be precise because we're going to put the exact location of it later. So we're going to take the heatbed and have the cable facing the direction where the motor is, facing the direction of where the motor is, the wires here. And then the spacer in the middle, you're going to take the smaller screwdriver one of the smallest wrenches, and then insert it through the middle to find the spacer, and then insert exact position. And once you find the exact position, you can remove the screwdriver, the wrench here, and then you're going to insert the M3X20B screw into it. Now that I've fully inserted all of the screws, we're going to tighten them, but we're going to tighten them in a specific way. So first we're going to tighten the middle bolt, the middle screw. And then we're going to tighten the outside 4 screws, which are the screws in the corners. Actually, we're going to do the edges. So these 4 screws here. So the ones that are not on the corner. And then we're going to screw in the ones in the corner after I finish these 4. The next step is to attach the PSU. So we're going to prepare the PSU first. So we need one 24 volt power supply, which is, I believe, is the PSU itself. So I have it here. So this is a reminder, if you have the silver PSU, you need to get the black PSU because this only has instructions for the black PSU. So we need one power panic cable, which is the white and black the cable here. I have one of those. I have 2 power cables, which are the ones I mentioned earlier that have blue on one side and red on the other side. So they're these 2. And we need 2 M4X10R screws with a dome head on there, and M3X10 screws, 2 screws. So first we're going to, in my y-axis video, I put the PSU holders, and it's different for the silver PSU and the black PSU. So the PSU holders should be on the side for the black PSU. And right now we're going to take 2 of the M3X10 screws and insert them into each hole in the PSU holders. And this is only make 3 to 4 turns, so don't tighten it that much. So now that I've screwed in the screws to the PSU holders, I'm going to gently rest the PSU on there and then tighten the screws. So I'm going to open the PSU now. Be very, very careful. Now I'm going to gently, gently rest it on those 2 screws and then tighten them. And you want to make sure that they're same distance apart so they size evenly. And then I'm going to screw them in. And we're not going to screw them in that much, but just screw them in enough so that it doesn't wobble. So, take my wrench. The next step is to take these 2 screws with the round head, and they should be the only 2 remaining screws, unless you have some spare in them for an accident. We're supposed to put them into insert them into these holes. And then you're supposed to slide the PSU over and then screw them in. Now that I've screwed in the PSU to the frame here, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to connect the power cables, both of the power cables here. So we're going to look at the bottom here, and there's a big warning saying, triple check that you have connected the cables correctly. There is a risk of damaging the PSU or the printer itself. The cables are not connected incorrectly. If the cables are connected incorrectly or not tightened properly. So it's a big warning there. So, and it also says, make sure the bent part of the cable connector is always facing up. Use the side with the blue cover. These connectors are slightly wider and won't fit in the Z board. And there is also the note there that I don't think you can see the arrows on mine, but the farthest left one is positive if you're looking at the bottom, and then the second to farthest left one is also positive, and then the 2 right ones are negative as well. So 2 left and the 2 left are positive, and then 2 right are negative. So yeah. So first we're going to take one power cable, the red power cable. I believe that's it. The red power cable, and we're going to connect it to the farthest left one with these 2 thongs, the pointy sharp thing, not really sharp, but pointy things at the front facing up. Now that I've tightened and attached these 2 power cables to the PSU, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to attach the power panic cable. So I believe the power panic cable is if there's a power surge or the power goes out, it can save the printer and store its data, I think. So I'm going to attach that to this port here. Both connectors look the same, so I think it doesn't matter which side it goes in. So just connect it to the right of that little green light there. There should be a little black port there that matches the black connector. And attach it with with those little silver things that you can see on top. You're also supposed to do the PSU cover. Attach the PSU cover. So it says gently bend the power panic cable and place it close to the power cables. Both ends of the Be careful as you might snap the entire connector from the board. Keep that in mind until the printer is fully assembled. Don't pull out the cable. So, and also you need to guide the cables to the other side of the printer. We'll fix them into the frame later on. So I'm going to bend the power panic cable just slightly so I can group it with the rest of the power cables and lead it to the other side of the printer. Just going to leave it over here. So now I've completed the Heatbed and PSU assembly. So now I'm going to have some gummies. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the PSU cover we will attach in the next video, which is going to be the electronics assembly. Thanks for watching. Bye.